Hey guys, my name is FunPro. So in my previous video, I went over some tips that you can use in your games that were like generalized tips that you can usually use in most champions to help you guys climb or get more wins. But in this video, I want to focus on more specific tips going up against specific champions or playing certain specific champions for that matter. Let's get right into it. So for tip number 1, we have using F keys during Nocturne. So when you Nocturne ults and he's on the enemy team, your whole team gets nearsightedness where you can't see what's going on. So then you might be asking, well, how do I track the Nocturne when he's ult? Like, how would I know where he's ulting? So the way to do that is to use F keys. So basically your F1, F2, F3, F4, or F5 keys can be binded so that when you press them, it'll go to your allies. And if you hold it for a little bit on each champion, you might see how where Nocturne is ulting. You might throw out a Q and you'll be able to see the Q trail. And this is like a tip that you can use if you want to counter gank a Nocturne or just to determine where Nocturne is when he's ulting. So for tip number 2, we have CAITLYN and bushes. So CAITLYN's passive headshot is just whenever she auto attacks, she gains a stack, and then at max stack, she can have an empowered auto attack. The thing is that with bushes, she can have her stacks be doubled. So instead of just getting 1 stack per auto, she'll get 2 stacks when she's in a bush. So make sure if you're playing CAITLYN, if you're autoing someone on the enemy team, try to stay in a bush so you can gain these stacks faster. So tip number 3 involves KARTHUS. So KARTHUS' ult is a very significant part of this champion kit. You basically can ult every enemy champion on the map and do a ton of damage, and it also scales tremendously well. So obviously we want to try and find ways to be able to dodge KARTHUS' ult so that we could save our health bar. So there are ways that we could do it. You can usually take barrier, you can take Zhonya's, but these involve some certain cost in terms of dodging his ult. But what if I could tell you if there's a way to do it without cost? But this is kind of conditional. So what you can do is that if there's going to be a Hextech ult that's going to be popping up onto the map, Hextech gates will spawn. What you can do is if you time it properly, you can enter the Hextech gates to be able to dodge KARTHUS' ult. Now if you time it properly, you'll be able to save your HP bar, and he kind of is using his ult and not being really efficient, or like it's not going to be that good of an ult. So this is kind of good to have as a ways to keep your health bar alive and just keeping you on the map for a bit longer to maybe do more damage or stuff like that. So now going into tip number 4 is that when you're fighting Jax, he does have his E to dodge your auto attacks. So a thing to note is that you don't want to auto him too much while he has E. The thing is that every time he dodges an auto, his damage from his E when he releases it will have its damage increased by 20% for every attack that's blocked, up to a max of 100%. So you kind of want to avoid taking unnecessary damage. So what you can do is just stop autoing him when he has E, and maybe use like movement commands to reposition. So maybe you can potentially dodge a stun that occurs after, or just to buy you space, or just to play with your range, or if you're melee, to dodge the stun. So yeah, just don't auto him too much because that will do more damage to you, and you obviously want to have more HP bar because that's another important resource to have when you're fighting against an enemy champion. So our final tip, tip number 5, is for when you're fighting IRELIA. So IRELIA has a mechanic where she can stack her passive. So basically every time she stacks, she gains attack speed and bonus damage on her basic attacks. So she needs to auto champions or large monsters in order to maintain the stacks. So what you want to do is just, if you're going to fight Aurelia, is to watch her stacks. Usually there's a bar right underneath her health bar, sort of similar to how Jhin can display his 4 auto attacks. You'll just make sure that she has 0 stacks before you fight her, or very minimal stacks, so that you're not taking unnecessary damage from her. So this will increase your chance of being able to beat her in a duel or in a fight. So just watch her stacks when you're fighting her, because she'll be a lot weaker if she doesn't have her stacks than when she does have her stacks. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below what you would like to see next. Don't forget to check out my Discord server, talk about League or future video ideas. Also, thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.